Hello, everybody. So the sad state of rural Ireland, and particularly in Cavan, many people would know, is a lot of post offices, a lot of banks, a lot of credit unions, a lot of GPs, a lot of Garda stations have closed down. Have basically made some towns in our county, in our country too, abandoned pretty much. All the public services, nothing in it pretty much. Majority of small towns in Cavan now have nothing really there. They used to have GPs back. They used to have a bank in it. Now it's just abandoned. The same in many towns in Cavan. Used to have a Garda station 24/7. Now it's very few. And another example of this now is kilnaleck Garda station. Now it wasn't open around the clock, but it was open every once in a while. But now they're talking about closing it completely and turning it into a regional district unit. What I mean by that is not a Garda station you can walk into. Say, for example, it's open on Monday or Tuesday. It's just a district headquarters basically for the organised crime unit, take for example, from Garda Síochána. So an organised group from Garda Síochána or the armed support unit, take for example, will take it over. That's what I've been told. That's what the councillors are saying in the council chamber. But again, the fact of the matter is, there's not much forthcoming. The Minister for Justice, the Department of Justice, the Garda Press Office is like Fort Knox, to be totally honest. You find more at Fort Knox, to be totally honest. There's more secrets about the state than this. It's only a Garda station in rural Ireland. The way they're going on, you think was literally nuclear bombs were being stored there or something like that. It's important. It was the most national security thing imaginable. Because there's like you're asking for the bank account the way the Garda are going on at the moment in terms of Kilnaleck Garda station. Like if you more or less the way that you think it's criminal nearly to ask what they're going to turn the Garda station into. That's the way it looks like to me, and what I've asked, they nearly treated me like I was asking about the bank account details. It was crazy. But yeah, there's not much information forthcoming, and it's quite insane. As I say, your credit union used to be in Kilnaleck. There used to be a bank. The GP, the post office is gone. Now the Garda station, unfortunately, looks like it's going to be gone. And I know people say it's going to be a district headquarters for Unitake, for example. There's going to be a Garda presence. But still, nonetheless, it's not going to be open to the public. The members of the public can go in if they have an issue or they want to talk to a Garda, whatever, get a passport signed, whatever. They have to go to another Garda station in some part of Cavan, Bailbourg, for example, or another place in County Cavan. And I don't think it's acceptable, especially because, again, there was nothing said about this. This is the thing, and the people who contacted, the two people that contacted me from Kilnaleck, and I know them well, and they were right. There was nothing said about this before the election. It was not a peep. I didn't hear a peep of it. It's only the last week or two that there's all this yap about it. Before the election was not a word said about it. None of the TDs came out and said, oh, this is how it's, because I'm sure they knew. The TDs and the people who were in the job beforehand, sure they knew there was some kind of suggestion that it would close down, and they said nothing about it because of the election. Then obviously when the election's over, they don't care really, pretty much, because they're in the office, they don't care anymore apart from that. But it's very funny to see Fine Gael, jumping up and down about it. And they say they're the party of law and order. Like, they're the ones jumping up and down. If they're the party of law and order, there should not be any case that the Garda station be closing down and rural Ireland. Particularly, as you know, and I've said this many times, burglaries are on the increase across our county, unfortunately. Because again, unfortunately, a lot of rural Garda stations are closed. There's a good few Gardas in Cavan town compared to other counties, but it doesn't make much sense. But it's but it is quite insane now that there's nothing going to probably going to lose the Garda station, unfortunately. But it's quite insane again. Before the election, was no word about this. Should have been a big topic if it was, like, the TDs. I'm sure knew there was a suggestion, because obviously there must have been talk about it before, because they just didn't pull it up one day and said we're going to do this. They knew probably a few months in advance. I'm sure they probably did. We don't know. The councils, I presume too, they're all acting very, they're all jumping up and down saying we can't allow this and all that. But I don't know where they were before that, because I'm sure there must have been some discussion. And the fact of the matter too, and I would say, is there was no jumping up and down now about it, and still they don't have the information really that's accurate. Why? What's the reason why? Because again, apparently going by Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, the money's the country's awash with money. There's that much money, we don't know what to do with it. But yeah, it does seem to me, and again, from what I've found out, and for what the councils have found out too, it's pretty much the same of what I've been told. So I presume adding two and two together, it seems like it's going to be a unit for the drugs unit or the organised crime bureau or something like that from Garda Síochána. Now, don't quote me, it might be the armed support unit, something like that. There's going to be some kind of Garda unit there. Not a public Garda station where you can walk in, but some kind of unit like that. Most likely, probably the drugs unit, I would say. Most likely. If I take a guess. But it's the fact of the matter is the people of the community, because again, at the end of the day, regardless of An Garda Síochána Drew Howes up and in the Phoenix Park or Helen McAtee and sitting in fucking the Department of Justice, regardless of them, it doesn't matter. They have no relevance to this. It's up to the people of Kilnaleck. They're in the area. It's up to the people in surrounding areas. That's their Garda station. They're paying their tax at the end of the week. They're paying for that. They're paying for the Garda station. They're paying the Gardaí's wages. They're paying their wages, the Justice Minister and Drew Howes. And the fact of the matter, there's no kind of engagement with the community. We're going to have a sit down and discuss it with the community. No, we're just going to bypass the community. No wonder in Garda Síochána you would wonder why people look down on Garda Síochána anymore. Because they don't care. The Garda is supposed to be keepers of the peace, protecting the community, etc., etc. And in this situation here, they've bypassed the community. You think they would have a community meeting beforehand saying, look, we might have to close the Garda station. We'll try and work with the community to do as best we can to try and keep it maybe open at least once a week or something like that, or we find another place for the district headquarters for whatever. But again, the fact of the matter is just nothing. Pretty much nothing. It's the same now. It's anybody's guess really at the moment, because again, what we've been told we can't rely on it, because we've been told for direct provision sectors, take for example, and it was never told was this was going to happen, that was going to happen, the other thing was going to happen, and the opposite happened. But you couldn't rely on them, you couldn't trust them on the other Síochána to tell you the truth. To be totally honest, they got a press office, particularly. No relevance. But yeah, it has to be forced. In my opinion, again, the people of Kilnaleck have said it overwhelmingly. I don't think there's any doubt in that. The people of Kilnaleck are very angry, and they totally should be. It's their last service. There's nothing really else left in Kilnaleck. Last time I was there was a few pubs. That's about it. It's the GA, and that's really it. There's nothing really else. A chowder shop. Pretty much there's nothing really else going in Kilnaleck, unfortunately. I think they used to have a mushroom factory out there. I think that's closed. I'm not too sure. But there's not much in Kilnaleck. The same as many towns in Cavan. Take what's up at Ballynow and County Cavan too. Beltoba just out the road from here. It's long past the days of glory, unfortunately. There used to be so much good services in them towns. Post office, credit union, banks, etc., etc. The majority of it is gone. There's non-existent. It's closed. It's gone. The same with Garda stations. They're just gone. The same with GPs. They're just non-existent. And it just doesn't make any sense. But again, it's trying to push people into the cities. That's really what it is. And again, if it was in Dublin, there'd be a huge kick-up if a Garda station was going to go. But again, apart from it's in the country, Helen McAtee doesn't give a shit. And Drew Howes doesn't give a shit. But yeah, we see what happens. But it is shameful. Again, especially because they claim Fine Gael, particularly the party of law and order. But law and order is not... There's no such thing as law and order in this county, unfortunately, at the moment. There's that much crime and stuff happening, particularly rural crime, as I say, burglaries, etc., etc. It's gone up a lot. Thefts, etc., etc., particularly, they're the things that have gone up in County Cavan a lot. And pretty much nothing's really been done about it, to be totally honest. In the nicest possible way, nothing's been done about it. And it's just allowed to happen, pretty much. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hopefully they will force the decision. But I say that it's probably set in stone. It looks to me like it's set in stone. The reason why they probably don't want to be forthcoming with the community is, there'll be a lot of public backlash, and so rightly so, but they're afraid of that. But as I say, I'm sure the TDs, and I will say to the TDs who are sitting in the Dáil at the moment in Cavan and Mulholland, to come out and say what they knew beforehand, because obviously this just didn't come out one day, and they must have been informed, or the councillors must have been informed. There's talk in Garda headquarters, take for example, about getting rid of this Garda station. Because I'm sure they must have been told something beforehand. It just didn't come out of the blue. I'm sure the TDs must have been informed some way or another. Or the councillors in the local area. I'm sure they must have been told. Because again, the majority of the councillors here, remember, sit in the joint policing committee. In every county there's a policing committee. And the majority of councillors in County Cavan sit on that automatically as county councillors. With the superintendent, the county superintendent in Cavan, take what's up to sit there with the heads of the Garda Síochána in the county. So I presume the councillors must have been told something beforehand. Some of them anyway. They're probably pretending to be surprised, but I presume some of them must know something else that they're not letting on. So I wouldn't say to them to have anything to hide to bring it out. That's my assumption. But I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But again, that's what I presume, because again, they're on the joint policing committee, the majority of councillors. And the TD, so they're joining in the joint policing committee. So what is it? Really, we have to know the truth. But anyway, thank you.